Right. The Ghanaian Times starts this morning, clampdown on Galamsey. Police arrest 5 Ghanaians and 5 Chinese. Photographs of these persons here. The finder says Cabal dupes government 490 million cedis in the petroleum sector in 2016. Daily Graphic, free senior high school, truly free. That's according to President Nana Akufo-Addo. And then Delta Force commander arrested. That story is on page 16. Business Journal, steel companies in crisis, illegal scrap export, and then high tariffs, electricity and water. Daily Heritage says ceasefire over 2016 election defeat. Professor Bochi tells angry NDC supporters. And the Punch on the front page says new chamber for Parliament. Michael Quay caught in a $200 million sole sourcing web. The Business Day says big firms steal 1.5 billion cedis through smart accounting. That's a new study revealing that. My guest to do the talking this morning, to my extreme left, is Member of Parliament for the Futu constituency, Honorable Alexander Fenyo Markin. Good morning.
Morning, Bright.
I hope you're doing great.
Well, by the grace. I hope you're also doing well.
I am doing well. There's a social media thing canvassing for you to become the deputy majority leader. I don't know if you have seen it.
Not yet.
Okay, I've just told you. I'm grateful for your time this morning. And then Kwame Agboja is a member of Parliament for the Adaklu constituency. Kwame, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing great.
Yes, I'm doing well.
All right.
And I really wish a good job. Now that Honorable Elijah Safo is being moved to procurement, I see no reason at all.
Why?
In fact, they will have to explain to people like me why he can't be made the deputy majority leader.
Okay, all right.
In fact, he likes talking a lot.
Yeah, he has no view in this, so we'll
he has no view.
Yes, he has. We'll wait for it.
You don't have a view?
No, he doesn't. All right.
For the first time, you are speechless.
Let's start with the Ghanaian Times this morning. The story, page 22 has a story. Talks about the issue of Galamsey. Page 22 says that 5 Ghanaians and 5 Chinese have been arrested, and that's from the Western region for allegedly engaging in illegal mining. We're told it's from the Nzima East municipality. The police command has resolved to arrest these miners because of the devastating nature of the practice that has destroyed Ankobra, River Pra, and other water bodies. We're told that some Chinese were mining on River Ankobra and polluting the entire river. And the police, upon a tip-off, went in and arrested these persons. The suspect were told to be arraigned before the secondary magistrate court on Friday, or they were arraigned on Friday. They would reappear today, 27th. The police has assured to work with its partners to flush out Galamsey operations. Kwame, let me start with you. We don't seem to find a way to stop Galamsey.
Thank you very much, Bright, and good morning to yourself and my good friend here. And then good morning to your cherished viewers, especially those from Adaklu constituency. Bright, if there's anything that should scare and threaten our survival as a people in the next 10, 15 years, it should be Galamsey. Why do I say this? You have a situation where, on record, we have spent millions of dollars to try to extend potable water to our people because they so deserve it. And unfortunately, by the time we finish some of these projects, after 2 years, we can't harvest the water to send to the people because the source has dried out or is so polluted that the cost of treatment of the water is such that it is no more economically viable or other things.
It becomes very expensive.
We are also told that in about 10, 15 years, Ghana would have to import fresh water before we can, you know, when you go to like Dubai, when they want to give you water, you see they give you water in a very tiny thing because they have to import almost everything that they drink. My brother, the only way to get this to the attention of everybody is to treat Galamsey as murder. So anybody caught and proven to be engaged in Galamsey should be treated as a murderer. then the level of punishment would draw the attention of everybody. I know how a human rights person would jump right now and tell me, oh no, how can Galamsey be treated as a murder? But you've forgotten the person is putting poisonous chemicals into a river that somebody is drinking down the distance, and people are dying out of it. If this is not murder, what is it? So I think we need a political will to be able to deal with this issue once and for all. Look, I don't remember the last time I heard that somebody have been arrested for Galamsey, and we have seen to the logical conclusion of the case, and we can tell that this person is in jail here. We see the first news, or they'll be arraigned before court, and then the case just vanishes. And almost all the time, you see some foreigners involved. I am sure that if I were to go to England or any developed country and engage in any illegal activity, apart from being arrested, the next thing is I'll be finding my way back to my own country. And that's what I'm saying, that this issue of Galamsey has gone far too long. It is no more political, though we are told categorically that political leaders, some political leaders, traditional leaders allegedly, and even some businessmen are involved in it. They must be ashamed of this, because what you are doing is to set the stage to kill all of us in 10, 15
years. So arrest
time.
and deportation isn't the solution?
Well, I mean, those if they are not here, I mean, because you see, you need some capital to also invest in this. So some Ghanaians front, and then they bring in some of these foreigners who provide the equipment and the cash for them to do what they are doing. Secondly, we are also told that part of the reason of the yield of cocoa going down is because some people are selling cocoa farmland for Galamsey, because it gives them much more money to sell the land for Galamsey than to wait for 3 years for the cocoa to mature for them to sell. So this thing has got the capability of destroying this country. At the point in time, if you don't take time, building of schools, road, hospital will not matter if we are all going to die of thirst anyway. So I think government and all political parties, and I'm surprised that almost all these think tanks and some religious organizations who will jump quickly to comment on whatever happens between myself and my colleague here politically, when it comes to this thing, they're all mute. And it's so frightening. And I urge them, you cannot have a country where everybody wants to only comment on issues when it's about politics, but when it's about something that is to the survival of all of us, then everybody goes to sleep. It's a very shameful act, and everybody must wake up.
Some time ago, we saw Chinese being deported. Some were arrested, sent to court. But like Kwame said, we never see the end of these cases in court. So it suggests that even deportation and arrest and all that cannot stop these persons. The Chinese are back in our forests and on our rivers.
Well, right. Good morning once again. And before I respond to your question, let me take this opportunity to draw your attention and the viewing public to the fact that this year, we are celebrating our Abuatri.
Oh, yeah.
5th of May. And we're inviting everybody. We can assure all Ghanaians of a peaceful Abuatri. And I'm sure Kwame and yourself would be there.
Yeah.
You see all the beauty of Ifutu's culture. So we expect you to be in Winneba to celebrate with us. And then secondly, let me also thank Perez University College. They've given Ifutu citizens scholarship. They've launched a scholarship for us. So we are very grateful. And this weekend, they launched an entrepreneurship program, which I was there, and it's to help the grassroots business people, traders and all that, to acquire knowledge in entrepreneurship so that they can build themselves better. Having said that, the issue of Galamsey is not new, but we've been looking at it with lackadaisical eyes. We pretend we want to solve it and we leave it. I remember in President Kufuor's first term, Galamsey became a very critical issue to the government, and the government said, look, it was going to be bold with respect to taking taken steps to rid this country of Galamsey business. What did we see and what did we hear? It turned out to be a political attack on the government. So in between, I'm sure the government got cowed by the public opinion that where should we go and work and all that and all that. So like Kwame said, if at the time President Kufuor's government took that bold step, if civil society had come in, religious bodies had come in, opposing political parties had come in, we would have ended it way back in 2002, 2003. That did not happen. Then again, we came to 2009. It became a big issue, to the extent that the government had to set up a task force.
Right.
That also became an issue. So it was dropped. I do not see how Ghanaians can go to China and engage in Galamsey, or engage in some illegality and expect to survive. I do not see how that can happen. But you see, like Ola Rotimi said in The Gods Are Not to Blame, we've left our food unwatched. And vultures seem to be chopping from our pots. And that really is a problem. I am happy that our new Minister for Lands is taking... Peter Amewu, Honorable Peter Amewu, has been bold on this matter of Galamsey. I recall last year in Parliament, the first time I experienced the effect of Galamsey was when Ayensu dried up. We were not getting water flowing from upstream. And the people of Winneba could not get water because there was no water to pump. And I said, wow, this Galamsey issue, I thought some areas, I saw with my own eyes the effect of Galamsey. And like Kwame said, my own relations had come to me to give them money to go and hire an excavator or those machines they use for Galamsey. My great-grandfather's cocoa farm, that day, all of them have been farming from earning living. They said, oh, everybody is cutting down cocoa trees for Galamsey. So they will also want to, and they were giving me the assurance that we'll make money. I looked at them and I laughed, and they left. But I'm sure they got some money elsewhere to do it. At the time in Parliament, when I was boldly addressing this matter, some colleagues who were in those areas thought that, hey, it's a landmine. Don't go there. They wouldn't dare talk about it. I said, why? It may take a political turn. And so, as a country, it is important for us to identify what our priorities are, what we want. Because you cannot joke with issues of water. It's a matter of survival. The chief of
Chebi.
The Ochihini raised this matter, I think some 4 or 5 years ago, even more than that, when he was talking about the Galamsey issues and all that. I don't think he got all the support that he needed to get. So now to our chiefs, we know that you need money for social activities. You need money for your villages and towns. For businessmen, yes, you need to do business. But businesses that threaten our very survival must be looked at. Anglo Gold Ashanti has closed down certain operations because Galamseyers have taken over areas that have been given to them, and the way they go about mining.
I see.
It's a threat to even our
Kwame, who must stop this?
So, conclusion: government boldness, consistent clampdown, okay, without fear or favoritism
of losing elections or all that. That's all we need. Government has to step in.
And it requires the collective support of all of us. Because that is what is lacking. We are politicians. Don't let us run away from that. Sometimes in politics, you could see something going wrong, but it could be that politically, it may not be conducive for your interest. So you better turn a blind eye. I'm facing the reality, okay, of how things are. But if as a nation, like Kwame rightly submitted, we would see that this is a national security issue. This is a threat to our very survival. And we work collectively to address it without anybody thinking that I can take advantage politically and all that. We'll just stop it once and for all.
So
and we proceed.
It takes government to do it.
It takes all of us.
I'm seeing, look at the photographs on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. A motorized boat. Sure, I don't know how it came in. If it was brought in, then it means that it went through our port. So Kwame, then I'm saying that. Is it that governments are scared because they will lose votes, and so when they go to touch these persons and they are told that, hey, you are asking us not to do Galamsey, what should we do? Then they pull out. That is the reason why governments wouldn't be able to stop Galamsey. And if that's the reason, it means that it's going to go on and on and on.
Well, I can tell you for a fact, some people believe, at a point in time, Ghana was supposed to benefit for a 3 billion Chinese loan, of which a chunk was supposed to do a lot of work along the River Volta and other things. And you remember not too long when, like my brother rightly said, successive governments attempted to do something. And then I remember very well, it was widely publicized when we put hundreds, close to 1,000 Chinese people on a flight back to China. And that was the end of the distance. In fact, we could only draw up to where we were, and then the rest never came. Other people have other distance. But you see, this way it's a very challenging.
So your point.
Ground that one word.
So your point is that what?
No, my point is that it goes beyond just electoral fortunes. Now, you have a situation where you are just asking, how did this big boat, and this is not a boat on the sea, this is a boat that has been, they couldn't have taken this boat to those smaller rivers in this form. They probably brought it in cut down part and went and assembled it. And it will be shocking to say that the people at the port, our police and everybody couldn't identify this. And as we speak, there's Galamsey going on today. The question is, can we say categorically, like he's saying, let's be realistic. The public watching, myself and my brother, knows that some of the accusing fingers are pointed at we politicians. I'm not saying I don't have a mineral deposit. He doesn't engage in it. But the public believe that some people in authority, whether they are politicians, religious leaders, chiefs, are involved in this, and even some members of the security services are involved. That is why it is difficult. When you have a crime that a few people enjoy committing, it is good, powerful people enjoy committing, it's going to be difficult. But you see, that's why I'm saying that the civil society can play a role. Haven't civil society stopped many things in this country, or actually made a point which everybody bought into? Name and shame. I've not heard of an of late. Something that, even if it's me who is involved, let us see so that we can prosecute those people. I'm telling you, Galamsey is murder. If you can tolerate a Galamsey person, then you can tolerate a murderer in this country. Because what they are doing actually is already killing. Our cocoa revenues, our cocoa yield are coming down. We are having people poisoned by the activities of these people because they are putting chemicals in this water that is we are drinking. He just told you about how his own community, after building a water system that is supposed to supply water, the water dried out because people are digging on the floor of the river. So the solution cannot be left only with politicians. It has to cut across. You can become an advocate.
It shouldn't start with them? Because I'm thinking that by just arresting and stopping all these...
politicians have always initiated the process.
Yes, and so for me as a person, I mean, I can only talk about it. But the equipment are coming in. The people are out there. If you're driving along the Cape Coast Takrady route, you see people engaging in this.
Do you notice something? The commonest construction equipment in this country is an excavator. Does it not blow your mind. What are all these excavators supposed to be doing in this country? How much construction work do you need an excavator for? They were all meant, majority of them were meant for Galamsey. And that is why I'm saying that let everybody get involved in this matter. Otherwise, one day, it will not be about which road to build, which school to build, because we all die of thirst.
Another thing, Market. Look, assuming that all governments have failed in stopping this, can your government stop this?
Well, like I said earlier, the Minister for Lands has given the strongest indication of the willingness of this government to address the Galamsey issue.
Is that assuring enough?
I think a week or so ago, he attended a conference in the United Kingdom where this issue of Galamsey and its effect on our water bodies and even our cocoa yield were discussed. What is important is the public commitment. Let us see how all stakeholders would help in cooperation in terms of letting people know that this is what Galamsey is doing to our economy and our natural resources, hence the need to address. Now, with respect to the Chinese involvement, or the involvement of other nationals, let me put it that way,
Sure.
the involvement of other nationals, with emphasis on the Chinese, I do not think that the decision we took somewhere 2010
To get them out?
to get all those involved in illegal activities deported accounted for the delay in the disbursement of the CDB loan. I think for the purpose of the records, the CDB loan was poorly negotiated. We accepted conditions that were said that disbursement was going to be a problem. It's a matter of record that the minority in parliament at the time, led by Dr. Kotose, the ranking member on finance, had drawn the attention of the government at the time to some conditions that were going to would virtually make it impossible for us to draw down in record time. And don't forget that I had raised the matter several times that as a result of our inability to meet certain pre-disbursement requirements, we lost not less than $200 million. And it took even the opposition then to push the government to come to parliament for capping.
So for you, that's not the reason why
it cannot
lost
be,
that
because
loan.
in any event, it's a commercial loan. It wasn't a concessional loan for the government to say that you have deported our people. So I agree with Kwame that yes, it could be that when you are taking such decision, it may affect the relationship with the other government. But in
it can't be the sole reason why. Okay, that's what you're saying.
No, in this specific matter, at least I have knowledge of the fact, and it wasn't the case.
Okay.
But the conclusion is that we need to end Galamsey. We need to tell everybody engaged in that business that it is illegal, it is destroying this country, and it doesn't matter which party you belong. No to Galamsey. That should be the hashtag. Say no to Galamsey, and then we proceed.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, well, it's not everything that can be said. I know what I'm talking about. He can. The reason we couldn't draw down are there. I know what I'm talking about. But you see,
okay. So you think that it played a part?
Partly because
that's
bilateral relationships are quite sensitive. But the last thing I'll say is this:
the matters of fact.
Well, if we politicians, as I sit here right now, if I know there are significant elements in my party engaged in Galamsey, if he knows there are significant elements in his party that are engaged in Galamsey, and we can't mention, we can't talk about them, we can't isolate and ask them either change or you're not part of us, and we come here, sit here and pretend that we are preaching to an unknown person to go and stop Galamsey, it's not going to happen.
I'm grateful. Well, let's move on to this story on the front page of the Daily Heritage. There are others to discuss later on. But ceasefire, that's the caption, over 2016 election defeat. Professor Bojo tells angry NDC top brass. The Ghanaian Times has the same story. Direct your concerns to us, Kwesi Bojo tells the NDC. And these are these stories from these papers have been the public domain for some time now, and members of the party making comments as to why the party lost the election, and others counter arguing about that. Kwame, let me start from Dr. Kwesi is concerned that, hey, stop, bring your concerns to us. That should calm down whatever tension is in your party.
Well, I have to say that political parties are made up of different shades of opinionated people. I mean, everybody thinks he's got a view on an issue. And the truth is that the same way you gather these views to have a collective force to pursue an agenda is the same way that harnessing those things can become a problem. We have a situation where, as a matter of fact, we have lost an election. It's not the first time we've lost an election. It is upon us to do the necessary things to find out why we lost, and then create a better chance for ourselves come 2020. It is so disappointing, as far as I'm concerned, when I listen to certain individuals. Because I say this because they should know better, in a sense that everybody have got a view. I'm sure President Mahama has got a view as to why we lost, and he's disappointed, I'm disappointed, everybody is disappointed. When you lose election, you don't clap for yourself. But the way to go is not to go posturing as to why everybody is pretending. My brother, if we had won I met a group of young people last weekend in Ho, addressing the something program. I said, if we had won this election, we all have been jumping, beating your chest and say that we made us win. What I did led to the winning of the party. Now that we have lost, you want to isolate yourself and say that you are looking for the person who made us lose. Look, if you are watching me, you're an NDC person, we have all contributed to the loss. Because bottom line, we haven't won the election. Let's calm down. If you have anything to put forward in terms of what you think was the issue, there's a ventilation point, or there's a platform where you can go and produce this. And I must say this, I am getting a bit worried about the fact that majority of the senior people who are commenting, unfortunately, on this thing are people who have either served in government, not necessarily President Mahama's government, or occupied high positions in the party in the past. I ask you a direct question. If you have benefited or have been part of government before, and this is your language, this is your posture, what about majority of us who have never been in government? Do you think that we don't have a view as well? We are more than you. So I'm urging everybody, just calm down. Let Professor Kwesi committee come up, and whatever they say should be the basis for us to move on. If you wake up and say that if I open my mouth, the party will collapse, for God's sake, if you like, open your mouth. This party cannot collapse. No one person can make this party stronger or bigger, but together we can make it work. So all these people posturing me, if I open my mouth, so and so, you played a role in our defeat. I played a role in our defeat. Everybody did. The same way, for us to regain the trust of the people and come back to power would depend on our collective effort. So let all this posturing, all this talking stop. I have my views, but why should I go telling people as to who caused something on?
You think the committee is there?
The committee is there, and we all encouraged to meet them. When you are a member of parliament, you can go and talk to them. When you are a constituency executive, a branch executive, the platform is there. So I'm urging our senior colleagues, anybody who is thinking of also attempting to say something this morning, consider it. Ask yourself,
and speak to the committee.
Would this, your comment, actually help or make this party worse off?
I do not think that the joy of your party is to see the NDC in disarray, because if you are a party in government and an opposition that is in disarray, it might affect your own way of doing things. What is happening to the NDC? How well should they deal with it?
Right. I would pretend I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Oh, is that what you want to do?
Yes, that's what I want to do. I'll pretend I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Okay, I thought you would say that your party is be excited to see your position in this area.
I'll pretend, but let me re-echo some quotes from Kwame. I'm urging everybody to just calm down. It goes, to gain the trust of the people would depend on our collective effort. He concluded, will this your comment actually help? Good, Kwame, and I'll give you 5. Congratulations. So you have realized now that when it rains, it doesn't fall on just one roof. You realize it. You wasted...
how do you mean?
Does rain fall on just a roof or it falls on every roof? I want him to know.
It depends on the cloud formation.
Oh, come on. It's all right. Generally speaking, I mean.
Yes.
It's rebuttable, though.
Yes,
but generally speaking. The point here is, you wasted your 4 years in government on the opposition. You wasted your 4 years on the happenings of the NPP. When we were putting ourselves together to fight the 2016 election, all you could do was to single out our flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo. Daily attacks. Everything, they tell you that go and attack Nana Addo. Butcher him up. Deal with him.
No, you can't say that.
Alex,
I'm making a political... Hold on.
Yes, I know, but don't make sweeping statements.
It's not a sweeping statement, no.
Because if you say they gave the order to go and attack Nana Addo, I think that's...
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Let me put it differently. Language use. I'm saying that as part of their political strategy, the communication team took this position of dealing with Nana Addo and his image. Create the impression that the party was divided, Nana Addo was this, Nana Addo was that, to the extent that even when they went to Cape Coast to launch their campaign, 99% of all those who communicated focused on Nana Addo. I see. But their own founder warned them, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. They wouldn't listen. President Mahama will go to Salaga, attack Nana Addo. President Mahama will go here, attack Nana Addo.
How does he attack? Can you say an example of the attacks?
Oh, okay. I do not intend repeating, but what I mean is that the focus of their campaign was on MPP instead of talking about their own matter or their so-called infrastructure. It was only when it got to about 3 weeks that they said, no, let's go and be talking about our Accra, Dubai, and Kumasi, Dubai, and all those Dubai things. Then they realized that, if we had talked about our infrastructure, maybe we would do better. It was too late. Well, what can I say? Am I the one to advise the NDC? No. But I can only say that, yes, power put them together. And now that they've lost, it is now a time for reality. So they should take it easy. We've been there before. If you come and ask us to advise you, privately we'll advise you on how to manage yourself. But I think that, the NDC is a mature political party. These things shouldn't be news because there were people who also felt that, look, there was some injustice, but because the party was in power, they could not talk. It is normal. Nobody would want to rock the boat anyway. So it is only when you lose that people will have the courage. But apart from this blame game, I see it more as a fight for survival. There is no doubt, there's no doubt on my mind that former President Mahama wants to stage a comeback. There's no doubt on my mind.
That's what you're assuming.
I'm talking, no, this is my view.
Okay.
That there's no doubt on my mind. Because you listen to former ministers of his government, former active functionaries of his government, all saying that Mahama is their best bet. So it is like those who feel that, you've led us into this embarrassing, devastating defeat, and you want to come back again. So you could see that the old opposing figures are the ones who are coming up strongly. So, and that's the bottom line. It's those who are for Mahama 2020 and those who are against Mahama 2020 who are fighting How you guys will deal with it is your own cup of tea.
Alex, I'm grateful.
Let me just remind you, I've never served in government, but as far as I'm concerned, President Mahama remains. Because he said old.
No. The focus was on them.
Old government appointees.
Yes.
Okay.
I will vote for President Mahama
if he happens to stand.
Exactly. And at the right time, I can give you why. I'm not stopping anybody from.
So he came in right. So to conclude, it is very clear. It's very clear that all this fight.
I'm not in a fight with anybody.
No. I mean, all this debate. Let me put it right.
It's about
this debate. It's about
whether
President Mahama,
former President Mahama, should come back.
Yeah. I mean, His Excellency wanting to come back.
He must come back.
Oh, he must come back.
Yes.
You see.
No, it's a free. It's a free.
No, I agree.
All right, Daily Graphic.
So you can see that it's going to be
We have two more to do. Let's quickly wrap up. Daily Graphic. Delta Force commander arrested. Ashanti Regional Police Command last Saturday arrested Kwejo Bamba, the leader of the Delta Force, the vigilante group that allegedly sought to remove the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator from office. So that person has been arrested, and we're told the police says that all those who are involved should report themselves to the police in their own interest and to assist in investigations. Kwame, let me start from you. The arrest enough to deal with this vigilante group?
Right.
Yes.
Before Kwame quickly does his submission, you see the rather measured language, his fumbling approach, his stammering approach,
you're talking about Kwame.
His diplomatic use of words. When he came to, I'm using your stand this morning.
When he came to what?
The NDC matter. He was appealing. That's why I quoted him. Will your comment actually help?
But Alex, if your house is on fire, you don't behave like
I see.
a lion. You calm down and deal with issues.
All right. So having reminded him.
All right.
So you are guiding me.
How can I gag you? How can I gag or guide you?
Okay, Kwame,
let's just draw one more to what you are saying.
The Delta Force incident, the arrest, how well it will help in dealing with this issue of people taking the law into their own hands.
My brother, I personally don't think that the president goes out there and then call some people and say, go out there and commit this atrocious or lawlessness. He
couldn't have done it because he appointed.
Exactly. He's not capable of doing that, knowing he's the leader of this country and everything. These things, we must also admit that in every political organization, there are people who serve the party in different capacities. There's no doubt that NPP, in the build-up to 2016 election, formed, they call it a protection unit, which I don't have any problem about that. They needed...
Even though the police says it's illegal?
No, in a sense that, look, if I appoint somebody to give me protection, a private protection, and all you can, can you stop me? Assuming there's a bodyguard in my car now who is not hired from a legitimate company, but he's just an uncle who protects me. You can't stop me from doing that. Though then their activities are what becomes the issue. You remember when all those times you see a situation where either in the party headquarters when the suspended executives, I'm talking about the chairman, the secretary, would want to attend a meeting at the headquarters, and some people would go threatening and all those things. And indeed, it was widely reported. I didn't see much condemnation from leadership, especially even from the president at that time. Once in a while, we were told somebody senior in the party issued a statement. And then these things continued, fast forward, into government. Last week or last 2 weeks, a colleague of mine made a statement as to the incident of the policeman, Nanka Bruce, at the Flagstaff House, which is not far from here. And we asked question. When I got the opportunity, I asked a question. Does that mean that Flagstaff House is capable of allowing people who are capable of endangering even the life of the president into that house? Because don't forget, that is the house of the first gentleman. And I was assured by the
police is on the manhunt for the person involved.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that assuming this person went and attacked the president, because this issue happened after the handover, So we urge them, and we were given an assurance that by the Interior Minister that they have taken steps to correct that. Then these things go forward. The reason everybody, including the president, must be very scared is this. These attacks started on individuals. It started, I mean, there were two members of parliament whose cars were seized. They've never been in government before, but this miscreant went and seized their car and then gave the cars back to them. In any case, I've never served in government. How possible is it for me to buy a state vehicle? I don't qualify for it. These things went on to the extent that the president himself's orders, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces orders are being flouted. Not in a very small way. He appoints a security coordinator for a region, and some hoodlums decide, we can't work with the person. Who are you? This is the commander-in-chief appointing somebody. This is why the president himself must be extremely concerned about this, because this has gone beyond party affiliation. This is undermining the authority of the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and we must not tolerate it. I'm happy the police have arrested somebody, and they say they are looking for the rest of the people. It is always the case that when you are in opposition, people do all sorts of things thinking that when you come to government, they will get some benefit. But I'm urging my brothers and sisters in NPP, it's too early. It's just 3 months into your government. You are not capable of saying that the president has not fulfilled your wishes. We still have enough time to go. So the same advice I gave to NDC people, that just calm down. Calm down. You can use, look, my brother here is qualified to be a minister. I was expecting to see his name. In fact, I was so shocked that after 110, his name didn't appear. I was expecting him at least to take up the leadership in parliament. They swerved him as well. He could have been talking, but he's not. He's calm, because for all you know, by the end of this week, by the end of the month, his name might come up somewhere. That is the way to go. All of us, maybe at a point in time, thought we would have been appointed something or the other one. It didn't happen, but that should not make us take the step of lawlessness. And I'm telling the president, you need to put your foot down. This one is not about an attack or seizure of an NDC person's car. This is a direct attack on your authority as a president. Let me
put that question to Alex. The attack undermines the authority of the president?
You see, when a party wins power, party members come up with all manner of expectations. And some of these fallouts call for extra efforts in managing expectation. Kwame made a point that we had formed a protection unit. The party never formed any protection unit. 2, MPP does not have such organ or structure recognized as Delta Force or Invisible Forces or whatever. I am saying so. Right, don't ask me to repeat. I said,
because there was an issue where the party considered that the security during the
allow me to develop.
Inauguration was done with the help of a group.
Right. I am saying that there is no such recognized organ in our constitution as such. However, the party members, some have identified themselves as people calling themselves vigilante, Delta Force or Invisible Force. Now you would realize that when these things were coming up, the party took steps to advise people that, look, don't do this, don't do that. And you realize that at a point when the president himself spoke, efforts were made to calm people down. Don't do this, don't do that. At least I know that for all of us as MPs, our regional chairpersons called us, advised us at our various constituency. Let's make sure that people understand that the fact that we have power doesn't mean that you could go out of your way to engage in all acts of lawlessness. And people, leadership in the party at various constituency levels, took steps to do that. And it was largely successful. Well, what happened in Kumasi is something condemnable. And the party does not take kindly to that. But be assured that the MPP will do everything within its power to give positive assurance to the Ghanaian public that no individual or group of persons would be allowed to undermine the authority of the organs of state, including the president. Now, Kwame went a step further to relate his submissions to me. He's been swerved. As I sit here, I can say for a fact that nobody has swerved me for ministerial appointment, and I don't want that to go into
I think it meant you've not been appointed yet.
Well, if he meant so. No, Bright. There are matters that you could...
I also want us to stay on it, because
Bright, we'll stay on it.
The president makes an appointment, and then a group says that we can't work with him. Okay, this is the president. I mean, the president decides who he chooses to become his assistant wherever, and the group says we can work with him, and that's a concern of many.
Don't take it as a serious matter. It's a mere rhetoric. Why? Because that is not a recognized organ of state. That is not a body that speaks for the party or the government. Like he said, a group of miscreants who, for whatever reason, have done this, we should treat it as a lawless conduct. They do not have that power to say that we can, because after all, the security coordinator is not going to work with them.
Are you aware if the man is back at post?
Well, but there isn't any information that the man has abandoned his post. There's no sign as a security coordinator of the region. I mean, this is not something.
Should the president change him? Because
come on, it doesn't suffice. I'm saying that those people do not have what it takes to say that we cannot. Who are you? We should treat it as one of those rabble-rousing, noisy conduct of a few people who would want to, create a certain impression. But my joy is that the police has arrested. If you look at the graphic front page, the supposed leader has been arrested.
Right.
The police is on a manhunt for that tells you
those involved.
Of course, that tells you that the police would do everything to deal with some of these lawlessness. Okay. And even on the Nanka Bruce issue, I'm sure that we're all in parliament. Speaker admitted the question. Speaker did not, run away from the question. The question was admitted. The minister was on the floor to give an update that, look, this is a matter that the police themselves, because Mr. Nanka Bruce is one of their own. He is an ASP. The police is doing everything to deal with the matter, and minister updated us accordingly. What I don't want our friends to do is to spice it with politics. That is where you have
told us earlier that these people can be working for the party. Like you said, it might be rabble.
They couldn't have been authorized by the party.
Yes, has a party an official statement been made yet on this issue? Or maybe today's Monday, so we should hold on till the close of the day.
Right. I can positively tell you that the party has been dealing with these issues and will continue to deal with these. Things like this. The party would continue to engage all party members at all levels to manage their expectation and to act in a manner that would best reflect the principles that we stand for.
Okay. Let's wrap up with this one. We're just about 2 minutes to wrap up, but I think we can touch on this one quickly, because when the story broke on Friday, John Dumelo is said to have gone to his social media page and said that, well, he has not stolen any cars, and he said he's never told anybody that the car was given to him by Madame Lordina Mahama, and that he's never been served in government. So how can he be buying have a car from government? Daily Guide has posted a story that was put on their page on Friday here, except what they have added is the post by Mr. Dumelo suggesting that indeed he's not stolen any cars. Kwame, quickly, let's wrap up on this one.
Yeah, my brother, these issues, it baffles me. You can tell whatever vehicle I drove to this place, you can tell within 10 minutes if you contacted DVLA, the owner of the car who imported it, even if it was bought by somebody and transferred to me, if the police or the so-called task force to retrieve stolen assets have got any record of the fact that the vehicle driven by Mr. Dumelo is a state vehicle, it shouldn't take a whole day for you to find out. You get that vehicle, few checks on it will tell you who is the owner of the vehicle. If it belongs to the state, you retrieve and punish him. If it's not, then you stop all this. And then you see, sometimes I get into this thing when I say that, who is Daily Guide? Daily Guide is the acting chairman of the NPP. You understand? So when they speak, I think they are speaking like a government. This is government's view, because I can't see any reason why the owner of a newspaper is the acting chairman of the party. When they speak, we must take them serious. And I'm saying that we are tired of this. If you believe this vehicle doesn't belong to you, tell us the truth, the chassis number, who bought it, when, which government organization was the rightful owner, and let's know the fact. The fact that the gentleman campaigned for President Mahama, so let's spend the rest of 1 year chasing NDC, attacking them. Some of them will tell you, well, by the time we finish our nomination and everything, we'll deal with you. By July, you'll see all of you be running away. Fine, go ahead. Look, people have been jailed in this country politically. NDC didn't collapse. You understand? Nobody in NDC or NPP can collapse NDC. We can all be the only people to disband that we don't want the party. But as far as we are concerned, all these little stories coming here and there and other things. I was thinking Daily Guide being how do you call it? The acting chairman will be telling us how we will solve our water problems and other things. But hardly do you see much of those in this sensational story that doesn't get anywhere. Leave the man alone. If he's committed a crime, punish him. If he's not, stop the smear campaign. Because he's a brand, and then what you are doing is a Ghanaian brand, even beyond the shores of Ghana. Doing these things doesn't help his brand, unless you are just targeting to destroy his brand and then make him unpopular and he loses his business. That's the only thing.
Let Alex come and then we'll wrap up. Alex, so the story. The man has denied buying anything.
Right.
Yeah.
When we are debating on facts, let's do so. And I beg to differ on some of the gallery submissions and the sweeping statements that go into the records. Why? When in this country was any NDC member jailed for his political views, or, as he put it, politically jailed? I mean, it's not fair. Nobody has been politically jailed, as he put it.
Mr. Chikata,
okay. Mr. Chikata was jailed politically. Come on.
When he's cleared his name.
Come on.
Alex, how will you describe
Right, don't put to me that, ask him to withdraw that one. Because it's a serious matter. It's not a matter. How can you say that? How would I describe Mr. Chikata's own? Right, you mean I should answer, I should describe? No, you won't ask him to. Somebody know? If somebody goes through a
rule that Mr. Chikata's jailing was wrong, and he feels that it was a political matter.
The court says so? Yes. Right, did you say that?
Yes.
Right. I have had the privilege of reading the ruling of the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal never said so.
What did it say?
No, the court, no, I'm telling you that the court never said.
What did it say about Mr.
The court ruled on a decision by a lower court.
So they
couldn't have said it was
the lower court decision was wrong in jailing Mr. Chikata.
Of course, if they say it is wrong,
and he feels that it was a political decision.
No, but if, come on, so our court, are you also joining him to say that our court take political
Alex,
in a criminal? No.
Let's wrap up. I have run out of time. I wish we
you may run out of time.
So you quickly wrap up.
But yes, quickly, I want to say that let us not encourage. We are dealing with our justice system. The justice system is credible. When the court take decision, Mr. Chikata himself had a lot of confidence in our justice system.
If you can wrap up on the Dumelo so that I have run out of time. Please, Alex, I'm sorry.
The court had appellate bodies. That is how come the man used the appellate system. The man has not, and we should not conclude that our court deliver political decisions. Our court do not deliver political decisions. That must be well understood. Right. And no NDC person has been jailed politically, as he put it.
All right.
Now on Mr. Dumelo.
Quickly, just 1 minute.
Haven't we seen a car being resprayed Is there evidence of that?
There's a car here. We don't know if it was. The paper said it was restrained, and he said he's never spoken to anybody about it. He's never been invited by anybody.
You have to respray the car before. Does that mean you've stolen it? You haven't.
When questions are asked,
okay.
Alex, I'm sorry, I have to wrap up. I am being
conclusion. It becomes difficult to. I thought when questions are asked, you are given the opportunity to answer. Don't be grateful yet. Right? Don't be grateful yet.
Alex,
they took away some of our time.
They did.
They took 15 minutes of our time.
Yes.
And we have to do 1 hour. And we have 5 more minutes. So tell producer
to wrap up quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrap up quickly.
Exactly.
Wrap up quickly.
Look, Daily Guide is an entity different from
government,
and separate from government, and separate from
the national chairman.
Of course.
Okay.
So don't.
Of course it is.
They run advert for you.
If
Daily Guide, of
Alex, I thought you were wrapping up
so
for me.
Well, I'm using my 5 minutes.
No,
if Daily Guide were Fred Blay, you wouldn't have had even the opportunity to advertise in that paper.
The case. Alex, can you wrap up on the case itself?
We will.
John's
but
issue.
Of course. It's been put out there. John denies.
Yes.
There is some evidence.
Should the state have gone ahead to arrest him since we saw him spraying the vehicle?
Yes.
Should?
Has he been arrested by the state?
Well, the paper didn't say. That's what I'm asking. If the state,
but if
indeed the state saw him re-spraying, should he have been arrested?
Right. Our security agencies
cannot do that. They cannot arrest John for
our security
trying
agencies
to re-spray
our security agencies investigate, gather evidence, and proceed accordingly.
By arresting the person and doing the investigation.
Let's allow them to do their work. Are they not doing their work?
All right, I'm grateful, Alex.
Right.
We have run out of time. He's a member of parliament for the Efutu constituency. Alexander,
talk about that.
Honorable Alexander Finyo Markin. Kwame Agboja is a member of parliament for the Adaklu constituency. I'm grateful. Sorry, we have run out of time, so we had to rush through this. Thankful for your time this morning. Let's take a break.